Hands. Hands. Show me your hands. Step out of the passenger side. Step out of the passenger side. Walk towards me. Walk towards me. Okay, walk towards me. Put your hands on the hood.
Well, good evening, everybody. The first thing I'd like to know, Laurie, is do I have audio? I think I finally got this mess figured out on what's causing the audio, so we're going to see as we go through. Now, tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a few documents and then I'm going to play part of a recording in order to answer a question that uh, arose out of a video that was made over on another channel having to do with Kathy Watson. And the gist of that accusation is that Kathy Watson talked to the Canadian woman that had been helping Neely Blanchard with her uh, case. And thank you. And so it came up that it's a possibility that the confession recording that I put on the air last night was uh, not Neely, that it was some kind of impersonator. And I stated that if Kathy Watson believes this, then she should contact the authorities and recant her statement that she made saying that that recording was Neely Blanchard and that she was um, okay. I gotta do something here. I'm getting feedback. Okay, well, I almost thought I was going to get away with a bit of a technical difficulty, but it was a minor thing. Anyway, I had challenged Kathy Watson, even though she probably does not know about this channel, that she could be in potential legal difficulty if she does not clear up this accusation that this is an impersonator on the recording that was presented to court. Because if she doesn't tell the authorities the truth, she could be charged with perjury, obstruction, any number of things, because she's basically responsible for Neely Blanchard spending the rest of her life in jail. And if the tape is genuine, she has an obligation to the public to make that clear. She needs to do it in person, somehow on social media, where people can see that it's her. If she doesn't do it, the speculation is going to go on for as long as it goes on, and it's going to put doubt in her testimony in court. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, oh gee, anybody that had cats, I think you'll feel my pain here. I got one of my kittens is running across the monitor top. Cats being cats. They're good cats, but they are a pain. So, anyway, let me bring up this document. I'm going to go through a series of documents to start things off. Well, Catherine, they like to make things up for whatever reason, but they forget I've got all the recordings. And the recording I play tonight is going to answer a few questions. But before we get to that, what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to want to know if I've got audio, because if I don't have audio on this next slide, then I can do it by slide. Oh, all right. Well, we're doing it this way. Give me a chance to adjust things here, because this works just as well. Okay, now let me go back to comments. Okay, what we have here, this is the events following the trial starting with the 19th. And what this does is this gets into um, she was adjudicated guilty of murder in the first degree with the use of a firearm. And she has to submit to a DNA test, because they keep this on file with APHIS in case something happens. She gets time credit served for 1,251 days, although that's not going to matter. She has to pay $100 cost of prosecution, felony court costs of $325, 5% surcharge for a felony, which is $25, and $93 in criminal per count cost. She also has to pay a felony fine of $500, $9 in a recording fee, $13 in another recording fee, public defender lien of $100, and affidavit of indigent status $50, uh, previously ordered. And on top of all that, she has to pay $1,345 in restitution, and this is going to wipe out her jailhouse funds. And also, any jailhouse funds she gets has to go towards her obligations to the court and the victims in the case. And she's going to have to work for it. She'll be either in the laundry room or stamping out license plates or something to um, you know, pay this off. She is going to be working in the prison system, and I may do something about that on a future show once I get an idea of where she's going to be at. Now, let me go over to the. Okay, They knocked me out because I hadn't been on. I just set this up on hold for an hour, so it's just going to take me a minute to get this back on. But right now, what is happening is they have not got her assigned to a state prison yet. And that's likely going to happen over the next couple of weeks. So she is still in the Marion County Jail for the time being. Okay, so hopefully this will. Okay, now we get the next document up. And I have to go bloop. Okay, now we come to this document, which is notice of intent to collect. This gets into uh, what they'll do until the fine is paid. It said this office is uh, authorized to suspend the driver's license of a person who fails to comply with court's directive. I don't think she's going to be driving a car anytime soon or needs her ID. She's going to be known as a number from here on out. She's going to have to learn her number, memorize it, because from here on out in the state system, that's what she's going to go by. And they say your funds will be forwarded to a collection agency 90 days from today's date. Okay, I think I'm back. So anybody let me know that I'm back, would you? I'm opening two windows now just in case this happens again. Okay, I'll go back to what I'm doing in the meantime here. Hi, Amber. You can get down, girl. You be good, girl. Yeah. Now this might happen again. This computer is starting to crash for no one's. It'll just crash suddenly, and I don't know what's causing it. And I'm a little surprised. It's a fairly powerful computer, and it's been giving me all sorts. Oh, I don't want Madison County. So it's just been, between the laptop and this computer, I'm having problems. Well, thank you. what I'm going to do now, I got to get back where I was. And so basically, until the prison system decides where she's going to go, it'd be kind of get out your bingo card and guess. Uh, the pick that people have made so far is Lowell State Prison, which is uh, about a half hour south of Ocala, still in Marion County. And so she may wind up there. Okay, notice of intent to collect is where we were. So let's bring this up. And we. Well, what they'll do, this is a show I was going to do next week, but what they do is they do a mental evaluation on Neely to determine her personality so that they can decide who she's going to be housed in or what pod she's going to be housed in. They have a tendency to put lifers, as she is, in with other lifers. So what they're going to do is they're going to determine who she is compatible with, and then that's who she will be um, going to. So she put, they basically, this is a generic thing where they make her payment arrangements and stuff like this. And you'll notice that down here, she has refused to sign. Now, she's being defiant until the bitter end when it comes to um, the court, and that's only going to last so long. And now we have um, this document, and let me bring this up. And this is just the clerk does this to make sure that everything is done. To receiving Department of Corrections, uniform, commitment, judgment, sentence, certified copy of indictment or information, copy of probable cause, score sheet not provided by the state, capital offense. And that's basically that. So that's, we're getting the bureaucracy done here. And so now we get rid of that. And we come to and bear with me just a second. This is okay. So then we share screen. And so this is in the name of the authority of the state of Florida to the sheriff of the reference county Department of Corrections. Readings. Take, keep, and within a reasonable time after receiving this command, deliver the defendant to the custody of the Department of Corrections. This is to command you, the Secretary of the Department of Corrections, to keep and imprison defendant for the term of the sentence herein fail not. And so basically, the state prison system is ordered to take custody of her. And the next document we have is just another sheet showing this is where she is formally ordered to provide samples, and these are her fingerprints that she took in court. And this was done while I was present in court. And there's pictures in the newspaper of her getting her fingerprints. It makes no difference. They say refuse to sign. It makes absolutely no difference. It's just she's showing her ass to the court. That's all she's doing. Yeah, so yeah, it's interesting that once you become a ward of the state, there's a lot of paperwork. You know, the bureaucrats thrive on their power, and this is So now we got uh, the defendant. This goes to the fees and exactly what they are. And again, we've got $50 for the public defender, $25 surcharge for felony, $500 for the fine, $325 felony court costs, and that's split into maybe three different subcategories. Cost ordered by the court per count. Discretionary cost to 100, and then all this stuff. So it's just, it comes out to be the same as the document I showed before. And then we get the sentencing page. All right, y'all. And this is basically it's a generic form that they fill out. So they included it, but didn't check anything off. And okay, this has got fresh information on it here. Yeah, everybody does this. And this gets into her credit for time served. She has to submit but the information comes down here at the bottom where it says hearing results. Defendant's petition for stay of proceedings and motion for leave to secure new counsel is denied. Defendant must make restitution to victims' crimes compensation in the amount of $1,345. And she basically just wiped out her whole commissary fund with this, plus she has additional fines. Well, I don't know if she has, but the problem with that is the state's going to take it until they get all their money. So anything that's donated to Neely goes straight to the victims and to the court because she owes almost $1,500 in fines right now. Okay, let's see. And say 385. Okay, so felony provisions that you have seen. And this is the part where Neely listened to the wrong people. And basically, having been fully advised of the criminal charges pending against me and the possible consequences thereof, including both fine and or imprisonment, I hereby freely and voluntarily waive my right to counsel, and so on and so forth. And she refused to sign again. And the judge says, the undersigned judge finds that the above named defendant is alert, intelligent, and executed the above waiver of right to counsel freely and voluntarily for the purposes herein expressed. And this was on the 19th. So she basically listened to bad advice, and now she's in prison for the rest of her life on a charge of first-degree murder. And then we have this little gem. And basically, this is, again, the defendant is hereby ordered to pay the following, and it goes down through all these charges by the judge. So she's repeatedly told she's got to pay all this money. And so up to the 24th, all the paperwork is there. There's no, you know, nothing more yet. So we're just kind of waiting to see what prison shows up on a well. It was brought up in court that her funds were $1,245. Well, actually, it was 1,300 and some odd. It's the exact same amount that they're asking for the victims fund. They basically wiped her out when it comes to finances. So she has to start from scratch in order to get her commissary fund back. And so that's, that basically is that. But there was a 29-page notice of papal interference, and I'm not going to get into that now. It's 29 pages. I'm going to figure out, I believe Paula has put this up. And so, I'm going to go through it myself and read it. I know they've got me in here. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to do a quick roll on this garbage. But they presented this in court, and the judge dismissed it right there in court. She wouldn't even look at it. Once she learned that it was submitted on her behalf by an outside party, she said, nope, you cannot submit things from an outside party. It has to be by you personally. And so because she said right here, because I, Alexander, Koukounai, whatever, for the crazy Canadian agent by necessity, the man able to relay, blah, 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 blah. And let me put this up because it'll be here. And what you guys can do is you can pause it at any point you want in the recorded version, and you can see for yourself the nonsense that was filed on the 19th, the day about that she was um, prosecuted. I don't know as if this cuckoo bird has ever watched court TV, but maybe she should, for she should understand that unlike Canada, um, we have a First Amendment in the state of Florida and in the United States. Anyone who wants to attend a trial can walk in and sit down and watch the trial, gavel to gavel. You can also cover the trial as a correspondent, journalist, whatever. And I was exercising my rights under the First Amendment to do that. This part is very interesting. Witnesses and potential witnesses or interested parties in the case are interacting with each other, and it is being reported. Everyone is watching the internet play by play of the recordings proceeding as per release by Murtaugh using Twitter, and it appears Picasio is possibly releasing recordings of the hearings as the transcripts would be near impossible writing down verbatim transcripts as they exist. Well, I got news for you. Neither happened. Um, they have been trying since day one to stop me from covering this case. Now, Hensley, Knowles, Blanchard, Don have all participated in Murtaugh's live stream chat where Murtaugh and Picasio's on the day's events within court and as previously reported to this court. Now, I see the trouble is if the witnesses are listening to my show or reading Twitter, they are violating the judge's orders. The judge gave specific instructions that these people are not to listen to the internet, do their own research, interact with other witnesses, and so forth. So if they are doing this, they are in violation of the court's order and they could be charged with contempt. And so by putting this into the record in the court, they are causing potential problems for these witnesses because the state could come back to these witnesses and ask them under oath if they had listened to my show before they were dismissed as a witness. Now, Neely's mother was dismissed after she testified and was in court by the court's permission because she is not going to be a witness at that point on. Now, Shannon Munner-Tanis did not testify in court. She was not called as a witness. She only came in court as a victim. She was in the court for the entire week watching the proceedings. So, Ms. Tanner is in no violation there. Yeah. Yeah, that's what she calls herself, IBT. Unfortunately, I am not good at pronouncing Greek names, so I decided to use either the Crazy Canadian or IBT. And of course, at least we know that she's paying attention. This is what I don't understand. Do people not understand what the First Amendment is? Now, this Canadian bacon goes around saying that I am uh, Whitey Bulger, this dead guy from the state of Massachusetts, and that's interfering with my legal rights. She's sending this stuff to all these law enforcement agencies. And this did not help Neely Blanchard at all. This was not entered into evidence in the court. The judge completely disregarded it. So, all this work putting this stuff together was a complete waste of time. And if anything, IBT, Alexander Kuckelberg, whatever her name is, caused Neely Blanchard to get life in prison because they talked Neely out of hiring a lawyer. And they actually talked, you know, they talked Neely into firing the lawyer and representing herself. And that was a huge mistake that um, there was a mistake made there to not hire one of the most experienced lawyers in the state of Florida. One that could have probably got her the manslaughter charges she wanted, reduced sentence, any other thing. But instead, she files this nonsense with the court. And so there we are. So, regardless of what happened, Neely Blanchard has been charged and convicted of first degree murder with a firearm, and she's going to go to jail. Period. End of story. Yes, she will be able to. Oh, here we go again. Well, guess what, High Command? Your girlfriend, Neely Blanchard, is going to spend the rest of her life in a state prison, one of the supermaxes. So I hope you're all happy because you and your friends caused Neely to be where she is. It's alleged that you and your friends actually talked Neely into killing Chris Hallett by telling him or implying that Chris Hallett was betraying her. Remember, there is a video of Timothy Charles Holmseth ranting and raving, making all kinds of statements about Chris Hallett. And this was before Chris Hallett was murdered. Now, the recording is on this channel, so go listen to it. And look at when Tim Holmseth made that recording. Somebody convinced Chris Hallett or Neely Blanchard 6 months before he was murdered around May or June of 2020 that Chris Hallett was a child trafficker and that Chris Hallett betrayed her, didn't file the paperwork, that he was in fact part of the bad guys along with Kirk Pendergrass. Now, seems kind of interesting that this all happened right after Tim made that video. And we had this big argument between Randy and Kirk Pendergrass and so forth on Eager Beaver's channel, the guy that actually owned Phil McConnell's channel. There was a big brouhaha going on. So, Tim, he may have been the one responsible. Well, curious idea. It's nobody's fault other than Tim for not seeing his children. We don't know if it's true, because he doesn't tell anything he does. He could be over with his daughter seeing his kids wherever they're at. So, well, yeah, there's only 9 people here. But why, if I am not that important of a channel, why did IBT file a 32-page objection to me exercising my First Amendment rights? And because I only have 9 people, I have no influence. I could not have influenced the trial. So, most of your followers have no kids. How do you know? You don't know who all my followers are. I've got 1,200 people on my subscriber list. They watch the show after it's recorded. And the people here do have kids. About half of them have kids. And it makes no difference if they have kids or not. So high command, you're just trolling again, as you always do. And, you can't argue with stupid. Yeah, high command, how do we know that you had kids or not? We don't know who you are. Even IBT over on the other channel don't know who you are. But, well, high command is showing what a fool she is. I'm going to play a recording. And I thought I had this set up, so let me know when the recording starts, Laurie or somebody, if the audio is coming through underneath that. So here we go.
All right, this is Detective Otto with the Marion County Sheriff's Office, back in case number 200229999. It is December 1st, 2020 at 3:31 p.m. I have a 3-way phone call between myself, Deputy U.S. Marshal Zachary Sell, and Kathy Watson at the phone number of 615-752-0078. And I have...
Okay, now is my audio coming through or not? Because I want to see, if this experiment works. If it doesn't, I'll just continue on. Okay, very good. Here we go.
And I have my recorder on, and my phone is on speaker.
Watson? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. I just live in the house. I got a tin roof, so it kind of.
I understand. I used to have a tin roof when I was growing up. I grew up in Alabama.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Deputy Zach Self. I'm with U.S. Marshal Service down here in Tampa, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I have received a call from a detective up around Ocala in Marion County with the Sheriff's Office. I've been dealing with him on other issues, and he briefly told me kind of the conversation that you guys had about you only wanted to deal with U.S. Marshals and not local law enforcement. And I get that. That's happened before, and that's something that I'm familiar with. He was telling me about that there's a recording that involves Neely.
It's a confession.
Right.
It's a confession. And I didn't have the recorder on my phone when she called me. I got this spy pen because, I'm kind of like I'm a inspector myself or an investigator or whatever because, I fight against the wrong and stuff like that.
Okay, now it's important to note that Kathy Watson in the beginning says that it is a confession tape. So that's one of the reasons I'm playing this, is to show that she said to a deputy U.S. Marshal and a Marion County, Florida detective that this was Neely Blanchard in this call.
That's who I am, and I'm an ordained minister, and the truth needs to be told.
Oh, well, I think we're in agreement on that one.
So,
well, let me ask you this. Would you be willing to turn over that recording?
well,
Let us get a copy of it?
yeah, because it's a confession.
Yes, ma'am. Do you when you say it's a confession, do you recall what it was that she said, how she said it?
Well, she was telling me the date, and I looked at the time when she called, because it didn't really sound like Neely, and I thought, well, what's going on? And she told me that she'd been shot, and I said, well,
when you say it didn't sound like her, it physically sounded like her, just that something sounded like something was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I was just, I was numb. I mean, it was the week of the anniversary of my own father being shot in a hunting accident, okay? So, it was kind of flashbacks for me, okay? And it took a little bit, So, yeah. I mean, I don't care to go to Paducah, to the U.S. Marshals there, and let them get this to you, because, like I said, it's on a pen, and I didn't want to mess it up by trying to put it in my computer, and it being erased.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I do know, because I wasn't for sure if I'd got it, because I didn't know whether the pen was charged, enough to get what she was saying. So I listened the other day to see, after I read the instructions, because I don't, I don't get to that much. So, to see if it was on there. And it was.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Again, Kathy makes it clear that she even reviewed the recording again to make sure that the confession was on there. Even at this point, there was no mention of it being an impersonator, some woman from Minnesota, nothing. She still contends that it's Neely Blanchard on that recording.
It's on there. So.
Do you remember what words she used? Or if it'd be easier, if you wanna play it, I could probably hear it over the phone.
Well, now I have recorded a few people before, so it's kind of like I didn't really know how to use it.
Sure.
And it's got this thing you have to hook into it, and it's a little like a recorder, only it's got a forward, backward, a pause, a play, or whatever. And I was afraid I'd erase it, because actually I didn't know how to operate it, but I did operate it enough to get the recording. Okay.
Okay. And you've heard it. You've heard it on playback.
Yes, I heard it on playback.
Okay.
But I am afraid to mess with it. I mean, I've got the instructions, and to be honest with you, it's important for the investigation.
Absolutely.
And I would just like to get it where it needs to be,
Right.
or whatever, and them help me get it downloaded on their computer to where they've got the copy of it, instead of me trying to and mess it up. Okay.
Right.
I mean,
right.
I don't want to mess it up, because it is important for y'all guys to have this.
It is.
And then,
how long of a recording is it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
5 minutes, 20 minutes.
I would hate to guesstimate it.
Okay. Well, it's nothing that I would hold you to. I'm just trying to get an idea of how big the file is.
Right. I was just kind of numb and stuff, and I just didn't pay no attention to that. And I didn't put it on my computer to see how long it was,
Okay.
I was just numb. But anyway, there's.
How do you know Neely?
How do I know Neely? I know her through the Family Forward groups. With Connie regularly, and I met her down there in Georgia at the Nancy Schaefer Memorial, and over at John Gentry's at Tennessee. He's running for senator or something this time, but we all kind of got together there, and, you know, because there's a lot of people that, you know, has been wronged by the system, and their children being, you know, taken with fabricated documentation to take them, you know. And you know, we just kind of met, I guess, online, and then we kind of met at other people's houses, and she was surprised to see me. So, you know, I just kind of took her under my wing like my daughter, you know, and we've prayed together, and you know, the kidnapping charge that was here a while back, that was fabricated. I was here.
Oh, wow.
A bit of that by her own mother, and she's narcissistic. Her sister, you know, was kind of like a hand in that. But anyway, yeah, she has been through it, I want to tell you, and then she's a victim of a very bad scheme of things.
Okay.
I mean, you know, and she's just searching for the truth. And evidently she found it, and something happened. Because she thought somebody that she trusted dearly had been extorting her.
Okay, at this portion of the recording, Kathy Watson contends that Neely Blanchard said that Chris Hallett had been engaged in extortion of her. And this also is backed up by the recording that was played in court with Neely making her confession.
And was harming her and her kids. So, you know, that's, you know, that's my take on it. I was just floored because, you know, I love her too.
Okay.
And I would never thought.
Did she say that she shot him?
She just said been shot. I don't really know exactly what the, you know, the thing said. And I was afraid that it would erase it, and I know it would have been needed whenever investigation or, you know, anybody called me, because like I said, I didn't want to erase it because I knew it was very important, and I was hoping it was on there. So I heard the playback, and it is there.
Okay.
So I don't say in my words what she said and it be wrong.
Okay.
You know. I know about that, but I do know was in the house. Okay. By what I gather, her daughter.
Okay. When it happened?
Evidently, she was in the back room or something. I don't know. Didn't want Neely there, come to find out. But anyway, and there's video on that. But Monday, after the fact that this had happened, I hadn't heard in a long time.
Okay.
And she sends me a text message to keep your mouth shut. I'm like, you know, I haven't said anything.
Do you?
I haven't said nothing to nobody. Told me
Do you
to keep
still
my
have
mouth
that? You still have that text?
Yes, sure I do.
All right. Definitely keep that. Definitely keep that.
Yeah. And you know, I said, you know, I've been helping. You know, I got a disabled aunt I rescued from a nursing home that was trying to kill her 4 times. So, you know.
Now that part's rather interesting. Kathy Watson is saying that somebody notified her to keep your mouth shut. So somebody was trying to cover up a murder. And that is witness intimidation, number one. And it's probably why Kathy has been so concerned about talking to people, because of that threat. Now, I could go to the court and ask them to send me the recording where that redaction is taken away and find out who it is that threatened Kathy Watson. You know, High Command, you need to go and get some mental help. I mean, you come in here and troll this channel, and I don't know why. It's only got 9 people on it. But, you know, I guess, you know, you have a lonely life. You have no friends. Not even IBT wants you around. So, what can I say? And, you know, we have This is the thing. We've got a man who is dead. We had 2 witnesses in court that loved the man that gave victim testimony because Neely Blanchard ended the man's life. We have a mother of children that are going to miss their mother because she went to jail for the rest of her life for murdering a man. And does High Command care? No. All High Command wants to do is come in and troll. These are the kind of people that were around Neely Blanchard. These are the kind of people that caused Neely Blanchard to do what she did. They don't care. They don't care about Hallett. They don't care about Hallett's family. They don't care about all the people that love and respected Hallett. All they care about is to go on a channel with 11 people on it and troll it. They have no soul. They have no morals. And High Command has proven this every day. And so, go ahead and troll. Nobody cares. So, anyway, let's go back to the recording.
I was getting ready for a heart doctor appointment, and she said that in this text, she said she'd heard my name saying alive. I said, well, I haven't talked to anybody.
Okay.
In a live or I don't do lives. I did that for Neely that time, They come in and got her and the kids here, but they were in and out, and her mama knew they were here because she had to go open up a liquor store. I mean, that was a falsified report of kidnapping I ever heard in my life.
Okay.
On Neely, but her mom, I guess stand to lose some money. But anyhow, that in itself is another investigation. Somebody needs to get straight. Because the woman, she pretended to be sick about the time all this COVID come out, and then, I was giving my aunt a bite, and somebody's beating on my door, and, my aunt needs 24/7 care. Then somebody's beating on my back door, so I come and see this woman acting like, this was Neely's mom, acting hysterical at my back door, and they wasn't here. She was saying, Neely there, I know they left. They'd come and go as they pleased, She was just staying here, and her mom knew they were here, having a campfire and stuff. And I'm like, what in the world?
Wow.
So anyway, but yeah, I would rather take this recording, to marshals down there at Paducah, or if there's marshals somewhere that we can put this recording on, somebody that knows what they're doing.
Right.
Bring the instructions with me, so it won't get erased.
Right.
But,
so you say you're close to Paducah. How close are you to Paducah?
About 45 minutes away.
Okay.
45 minutes, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Have you ever been to that courthouse before? I know it's a pretty good ways off.
The courthouse in Paducah?
Yes, ma'am. It's small. I was there about a couple of months ago.
Yeah, when I took... I'm like Ellie Mae. I take in all kinds of strays. But anyway, I had my husband, and she was like... she was into drugs and alcohol and stuff, and I was trying to get her off of that because I lived on a farm in Tennessee at the time. But anyway... She went to Paducah and got drunk and got thrown in jail. So, yeah, I've been in that area of that, where the courthouse is.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to reach out to those guys, and before I ask you to go over there, I'd make sure that they were available and be expected.
Right.
Because I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste their time either. So, do you have anything other than that? I mean, you just dealing with that.
I have the papers that Neely had took snapshots of what they were working on as far as, I guess, a remonstrance. Now, Trissa Brewer has got documentation because, see, Neely didn't keep all her eggs in one basket because of the simple fact she'd been fighting for her children, and, and there's roadblocks everywhere, which way she turned, and nobody had helped her, and they more or less hurt her than helped. So,
Right.
she trusted the one she trusted with her information. You know, that's who she gave her information to make sure if something was to happen to her,
Right.
they would have it.
That people would know about it. Okay.
Right. Yeah. And Teresa, Brewer, she lives over there in Missouri. Now she's a journalist, and she wrote an expose on Trump before he ever got to be president.
Okay.
So she was an entertainer and wrote a lot of columns and stuff. But she's got a lot of her documentation also.
Do you know of anyone else that Neely may have called about this?
Well, I know she gave me this Grubbs, last name Grubbs, Jamie Lynn Grubbs number. And I think, let's see, and Grover. Girls, let's see, Grover. I wrote down a bunch of stuff. Let me see. There's been all kinds of freaking Inspector Gadgets doing lives on this.
Uh-huh.
I think they've got all their judge, jury, and executioner just making a big circus out of it. It's not right. But anyway, Melissa Grover.
Okay.
He's got realtor at gmail.com. Let's see. And that Grubbs lady, or whatever. Now, see, those two are the only one that knows that I've got a recording.
Who's that? Neely and the Grubbs person?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
so,
I've seen her making comments on one of these lives, that's trying to figure it all out, too.
okay. When you say she's making comments, what do you mean? Where can you see she's making comments?
in these live shows that, like The Watchmen and the Miko Hayes with on YouTube discuss, and all, there's just in some kind of Murtaugh or something guy. I mean, I think
so she referenced.
Do what?
Kathy referenced this murder on a show. It's on YouTube.
No.
Is that what you were saying?
I didn't reference. I just said they're talking about it.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Kathy, not you. I'm so sorry. I got these names. You mean the Grubbs person, the Melissa Grubbs?
Yeah, she was in the comment section, and I seen where she was making comments in The Watchmen. It's called The Watchmen with Randy Davis over there in North Carolina. And they've got a bunch of these Neely videos. And then they've got, the Miko Hayes. He's got a video on there with doing a memorial on. And I watched it, and I'm like, oh my God, she's into witchcraft, okay?
Oh my God.
There's another guy that's in Michigan that called me and told me about what she was trying to get him to do. And then, on the Watchmen video on the YouTube, this man calls in that had at his place, and they had this fire built or whatever, and talked about how her face looked distorted and stuff like that, some kind of demonic looking figure or something. And yeah, I'm telling you, this ain't good.
Yeah, this is kind of out there.
It is out there. But these people are doing is, they're pretending to be.
Okay, this is just, I can understand where Kathy's coming from. I mean, a murder of someone that you're familiar with is a big deal. And so that's what happened here. But, that it just goes with the territory. But, the thing of it is, this is pretty well done. We've got Neely is now in prison. And, high command or any of these people, there's nothing they can do about it. They can sit there and go and troll people and complain, but that's not going to change a thing. What's done is done. You know, you do the crime, you do the time. Neely Blanchard was convicted by a jury of her peers, 12 men and women, of the murder of Chris Hallett. She's going to be in prison for the rest of her life, and that's all there is to it. So, High Command can complain and troll all it wants. It's not going to change a thing. Notice Mert has not addressed flatulence gate. Well, because it's a lie. Maybe you are making confession because it's you that did that. I mean, you're weird to be talking about we're talking about a man who was murdered, taken away from his family, and you're sitting here making jokes on a chat. It's disgusting. You are a disgusting person, High Command. You can sit there and say anything you want, but it's just making you look bad, making you look worse. You're completely ignoring the fact that a man is dead. He's in a cemetery plot someplace because a woman got mad at him. And it's probably you and your peers that caused her to do that. You filled her with all kinds of lies about Chris Hallett, and she murdered him. And you're probably happy she did because this gives you and your friends a revenue stream. You make money off a dead guy. You make money off a woman who is in jail. So, and again, High Command, it was Neely herself that mentioned it. She complained that she did not have underwear on, no bra, nothing, because she was on suicide watch. That's in the court record. You can send $500 off to the court and get a transcript of the trial, and it's right there. So if you want to complain about anybody mentioning underwear, talk to Neely. She's the one that brought it up in court. So I don't, doesn't matter. And speaking of underwear, it's you, High Command, that puts people's underwear on the internet. That's all you talk about is people's underwear. So you come to me whining about underwear when you do the same thing almost on a daily basis. So don't give me this holier than thou crap because you're the one that's doing this, not me. I'm sitting here reporting on a trial where the woman that killed somebody is in jail for the rest of her life. So what? Yeah, High Command, you're fake. It's tragic that someone like High Command exists. That they make a mockery out of our court system, they make a mockery out of a man's life. Chris Hallett did not deserve to die. He may have been a fraud and all that, but he didn't deserve to die. And yet this High Command doesn't care. She doesn't care that Chris Hallett is dead. All she cares about is getting her name on a chat in a room with 13 people in it. So, no, I don't because I've got the screenshots. You came in using the name High Command and posted pictures of a particular individual's underwear. And you're just going to have to prove that that is wrong because that's the way it is. You can sit there and deny it all you want. You use, I don't know how many names on Telegram, and you contact me just about every other day talking about people's underwear. And somebody has told me that you're over there doing that on Discord. So, you can sit there and you can pretend, but, you lie about me, so what's the difference? I mean, you like to lie. It's disappointing that I even have to give you the time of day, but I am doing it to show the general public out there the kind of people that got around Chris Hallett, got around Neely Blanchard, got around Field McConnell, and caused them to do things that they otherwise wouldn't do. And you can take your cease and desist and put it where the sun don't shine. You are the one that came into this room. You are the one that chose to make accusations against me, so you are the one that has to face the consequences. You lie about me on a daily basis. You call me names. So you're the one that set the standard here. You're the one that set the platform. Oh, you just admitted it. You just admitted it. How do I know about it? I know about it is because there's several people on Discord that report back to me directly. That's how I know. They're too much of a coward to let me read Discord. They have all these secret things out there that they lie about me and threaten me and stuff. People are scared of a person with this small channel. So you hide behind a fake name. Nobody knows who you are. You make all these claims about getting pedicures in the Carolinas and all this. How do we know that's true? We don't know who you are. You're just a name on a chat room. So, you want to sit there and whine and complain, you go right ahead. But you're the one that's on the air. You're the one that's over here. Why don't you go back over to Discord? You seem to like it over there so much. I didn't pay anybody anything. You're over here spying. You people spy on me all the time. So don't give me that. I don't have money to pay anybody. Basically, I don't care. You're the one over there putting up a picture of a stranger's underwear. You're the one that's complaining about strangers, people you've never met in your life. I've never met you. I don't even know who you are. You're a name on my chat. How do I know that? This is a claim that this person makes. How do we know this is true? You state, I travel on a monthly basis. How do we know? How do we know? There's no proof that you're telling the truth. You could be doing that just to play headroom with everybody. For all we know, you're just somebody in a nursing home clocking away on an ancient laptop. You're not who you say you are. There's absolutely, positively no proof of anything you state, High Command. So they say the more someone has to brag about something, the more they're lying. The truth and you are strangers. Yeah. Well, that's where we're at here. You sit there and you make these claims, and I need to know if I still got audio, people. We don't know. See, we don't know if High Command is a male, female, adult, child. High Command could be one of these kids in the basement from over on 4chan, for all we know. Nobody knows who High Command is. Not that anybody cares. High Command shows up only in this room, except maybe over on Discord. You don't see High Command anywhere. Well, I'll tell you what. You come in this trailer park with that camera, I'll have you arrested for trespassing. This is private property, and the cameras record everything that happens. So you just come right into this trailer park with your little camera. and I'll have your license plate and who you are. So remember that. When you make these threats, I mean, so you whine about me going out to Minnesota, and here you are coming down to Apopka to take pictures of my house. So, there it is in black and white. And I'll be sending this over to the Orange County Sheriff's Department that you're threatening to come down here and stalk me at my house. So, and then you're going to go down and stalk Kim Bacazio. So this will be sent to her. But this is the kind of people that support Tim Homestead. So, yeah, that's duly noted. Well, now she wants to stalk Casey Anthony. You know, you can find her. You're such a. You told me once that you're one of these good investigators. You should be able to figure out where Neely or Haley is. You're gonna go to the county clerk's office in Apopka. This is gonna be a laugh. You're gonna have go and do that. Do me a favor. Take a picture of you in front of the county clerk. I'd love to see it. Yeah. You say the county clerk's office is in Apopka. Okay. Come to Apopka, go over to the county clerk's office and take a picture of you in front of the county clerk's office. Don't take a picture of the building because anybody can take a picture of your building. I can go down and take a picture of the county clerk's office. Knock yourself out. I don't care. Just remember, anything you may submit to Orange County and the state of Florida is a matter of public record, and you have to identify yourself. You just can't go in there and say, I'm anonymous. You have to post a name. So good luck with that one. Yeah, she's no more an investigator than I am. All she is some brain dead groupie that's been rejected by every social media account on the internet. And so she comes in here, or it comes in here, because it has no place to go. And all this bragging they do can't be proven. They can sit there and say, I'm driving to who knows where. And they can't prove it. They can't prove anything. Yeah, they can take pictures off of, all the pictures that Fire Command took came from Google Maps. Remember that stunt where she had all the pictures of my hometown? Google Maps. She's never been to Elmira. She got a new. She does this all the time. She'll go on Google Maps. She'll find a place and send it to me. So that's just it's sad. But this kind of thing happens with these people. These are all, this is the kind of people that run to Tim Homestead because he pays attention to them. It's, and again, we are talking about a man who was murdered, who was taken away from his family, a father taken away from his son, a son that was taken away from his mother, a 90-some-year-old woman, lived in the same building as he did. And all this high command is worried about is talking crap on a chat. Uh, that's likely where high command is, in a nursing home someplace or an insane asylum. And they get to use the computer a couple hours a week or something like that. But yeah, I just think it's interesting that we have a good insight into who these people are. We now know the truth behind Tim Holmseth, Alexander Kuckerberg, and all these other people. They are making a fortune off of Chris Hallett's death. They're making a fortune off of Neely Blanchard being in prison for the rest of her life. They brag about getting on court proceedings and lying to the court, committing perjury. IBT thought she was a big deal all week, filing all these papers with the court. And the court rejected every single one of them. Not one got through because she's not a lawyer. She can't represent Neely. She can't put stuff in the court. Neely has to do that. The court told her several different times, this is what you need to do. You can contact this courthouse anytime you want and make a motion personally. You cannot do it through a third party. Period. So, however many hours it took IBT to make that 26-page motion didn't work. Her call to the prosecutors in the case didn't work. And that's direct interference in a case. She could have caused a mistrial with her actions because she's directly interfering with a case. She's contacting witnesses. She claims to have gotten a hold of Kathy Watson. Kathy Watson was a material witness in this proceeding. And IBT claims to have talked to her. That's contempt of court. That could have caused a mistrial if it had happened at the right time. It's grounds for appeal. Nellie Blanchard can go to the court and say, this woman from Canada called a witness and interfered with this proceeding, interacted with this witness. This could get this thing right back in the court again. It won't, but it could. These people don't think when they do this stuff. They just get out there and do it. And they don't care. They don't give a damn about Neely. They don't give a damn about Chris Hallett. They don't give a damn about anybody but getting attention to themselves and making money off of this case. That's all there is to it. And this is what has been happening for the last 2.5 years plus of this case. Now, it came out in court, excuse me, that it took 3 months, 6 months, correction, for Neely Blanchard to decide when to kill Chris Hallett. Yeah, I thought that was remarkable that Weinstein got a new trial. But it was the same thing. There was things that happened. He took it to the appellate court, and the court said, fine, you got to do it all over again. This is what happens on appeal. So we're going to go through this whole thing all over again, and you never know. He might get off because of shenanigans. So we'll see how that one goes. Now, as for what's going to be happening down the road, next week, I'm starting coverage of a new trial. There's a guy here who is in the Osceola County Jail who is about to go on trial in May for sexual crimes against a child, molestation, so forth. And just this week, he was charged in the murder of that child, Madeline Soto. And so I will start covering that process from the day this all started until a verdict is reached and each action that is taken against this individual. I probably won't be going down to court to do it because I'm back on my schedule again and I can't keep taking off time out of my schedule to cover these things, but I'm going to do the best I can. So stay tuned for that, and there'll be other things down the road that I'll be covering. Also, in a bit of news, uh, yeah, uh, he is in the Osceola County Jail, which is in Kissimmee. It's about a half an hour from where I live, maybe an hour at the most. Uh, where the Madeline used to live is about a half hour to 45 minutes from my house. So this is another local case. And this is what I do. I cover or discuss these local cases. And this is a bad one because she was killed the week of her birthday. And it's, this is a story that's captured the interest of us locals here. And it's not quite up to the standards of Neely or Casey Anthony, but it's a child that was murdered by someone in the family unit. In this case, it was the boyfriend of the mother of the child. Um, and so there's a lot of weird things about this case, and so I'll be discussing it from time to time as we go forward, along with other things that are going to come up. And also, it was announced that the judge in the Delphi murder case is not going to allow cameras in the courtroom. Now, I don't know if they're going to allow audio recording or not. I know that Court TV is going to cover the case along with a lot of outlets. So somebody may sue to get the right to be in that courtroom. There may be audio only, texting, something, but I am sure that the mainstream media is going to figure out a way to discuss that trial. So we have that to look forward to. Also, there is something coming on Sunday, and it's the case against Richard Allen. And so that'll be coming on either Court TV or CNN, and so probably Court TV. So that's something you all may want to tune into. And so there's all that. Yeah, Laurie, he was finally charged with murder. Let me see if I can bring up something on that. But it came across the wire to me a while back. So let me see what I can find on that. Okay, Stephen Stearns was charged with first-degree murder in Madeline Soto's death. And this was reported on Channel 9, which is our local affiliate here. So he was charged with first-degree murder in the death of a child. So that means that, the process that was done with Neely Blanchard will be done with this guy. And so his murder charges probably won't be tried until later this year. I don't know what's going to happen with his current charges down in Osceola County. And then they got to determine what county that he committed the murder in. Because if he committed it in Orange County, it might come back up here. Well, the problem here, Curious, is this was a teenager. This is a child who lived with this man for years. Now, according to reports, he's been abusing the child for years. And something happened that caused him to murder the child at the apartment where they lived. And it's really a sad case because this is right after her birthday, the week of her birthday, and it's just one of these things. And he's pled not guilty, and so we got to go through the same thing we just did with Neely Blanchard, and to see where this case is going to go. And it's just like all these other cases. People are innocent until proven guilty. We've got to march through and see exactly what happened and when, what proof the state has that he murdered the child, and so forth. And so that'll be on the docket watch for this year as well. That's a possibility. She may have gotten to the point where she couldn't take it anymore. There could have been an argument. You don't know what happened. And this is where we're going to have to watch and see what happens in court as these updates start coming out. There's going to be the same process with Osceola County that there was with Marion County. All the stuff's going to be put in discovery. I'm going to have to do all the paperwork to get this stuff from the court to see exactly where we're going with this. Going to see, the court may seal all the documents you don't know. So all this is going to have to be worked out. And so this is what we'll be watching from this day forward. So I think what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to close it down for tonight. I got to prepare for next week's schedule, and so all that I got to do. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and share. And in this little corner of the internet, we'll have another case to discuss, maybe a couple others to discuss, and just chat away. So, good night, everybody. Have a good one, and talk at you later on.